Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much for joining the UKAI Women in AI podcast today with me, Zara. I would really like you to introduce yourself to everyone listening and watching.
Hi, Zara. Thank you very much for having me. I'm Vanessa Carson. I'm the founder of Defuze and Thea Labs. We build AI mediation style communication for conflict resolution in high stakes environments. It's at the intersection of governance, safeguarding, and human behavior. At the center of this is what I like to call the evidentiary edge. It's where AI meets high stake human decisions, where trust, consent, provenance, and auditability either exist end to end or they don't. My goal is very simple, is to give difficult conversations structure, accountability, and a record that can stand up to scrutiny, while also reducing risk for users, whether they're individuals or the enterprise.
hmm How did you get into this field of work?
My career took a scenic route. I started off in the film industry in Cape Town, working on set in the art department. Following that, I moved to London to study film and ended up working in a production company for some time. Following that, I ended up in a data space almost, and that was started my career in digital and tech. So for the last couple of years, or almost a decade, I've been working in delivery in highly regulated industries as tech delivery with complex structures.
hmm And did you find that your creative background actually aided you in moving into this area?
Very much so. I think with human-centric design, there has to be an element of creativity because it's creative problem solving. It's identifying, well, the gaps become apparent. So I didn't get into this space through any one particular vertical. It was pattern recognition over time, and I started to notice where the gaps were in human communication. Conflict would escalate. The narrative would shift, and so that was really the birth of Diffuse, which is driven by Thea, our AI model.
hmm And what would you say were your key challenges, and how did you overcome those challenges? You can pick
It's
one
not
if
been
you want.
it's not been ideas. It's not been the challenge hasn't been ideas. There are lots of ideas all the time. It's restraint and execution under real constraints,
Mhm.
resourcing, time, children. I have three daughters. So just general life can sometimes get in the way. But we've stayed grounded in real users because the platform's built for humans. It's built for the with the end user in mind. And it's built in a space where there's real risk and mistakes do carry real consequences just by the design of the infrastructure and what it's designed for. The way through this has been focus and, dare I say, resilience, and discipline, and yeah, prioritizing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, what are some of the current or future projects that you're working on that you'd like to share?
Yes, definitely. So right now I'm focusing on the first use case for Diffuse, which is our Diffuse family app. It's a co-parenting app, but can also be used as a family management system and driving adoption of the enterprise model, which sits in various verticals. So it can be used in school settings, in the judicial space, as well as for small and medium-sized enterprises. So in terms of the native Diffuse family app, we prioritize web delivery first. This was to remove friction and accelerate real world use. We went web first to keep momentum and avoid dependency bottlenecks. The app's very close now. We're just before the finishing line, and we're in the final hurdle. And alongside the product, we were running Diffuse family events. That's deliberate. It's not a pivot to move away from the core offering. Because Diffuse is not just software, it's a community space as well. So we want to create a space, a physical space for de-escalation, and to support in structured communication and just approaching life in being able to be in a calm state of mind when things do escalate. So yes, we're creating a physical community around that.
Mhm.
Um,
What are some of the services that this community space will provide, or if what sort of problems could people look to try and resolve through this community space?
So at the moment, society is flooded with a lot of information and there's a lot of noise. And through that noise, there's a little bit of signal. So this space is not just for co-parents, it's for, I guess, burnt out, burnt out entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
people who just want a space to come together and just reset. So we're running a series of events based around themes, and we're starting the first one we are aiming to launch in spring, and that will be about resetting and recalibrating, and just taking stock of where you are in your journey and how you can again recalibrate in that space and move forward with intention and in a calm way, so the noise doesn't become overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And where do you see yourself in the next, or the company in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, well, we are on phase 1.5 of the co-parenting app because it has well, I don't say plugins, it's got additional features that we'll be launching once we launch the native app. And then beyond that, we do have the enterprise offering. So one of the key components behind this is data stewardship and narrative integrity. So a working example of where that I feel this is a very valuable, the emotional infrastructure behind Diffuse is that if there's an event and there's a recollection by certain people involved in that event, you're never going to get one single true account because everybody has a different perception on how they view the world. So in order to preserve the narrative integrity, the events or the communication is documented within our platform. It's a surface infrastructure that can sit over the existing enterprise's communication tech stack. I don't want to get too technical. And so that will document and create a case. Not a case file. It's not if it's not an illegal, it will be a different terminology. And then that is an auditable trail of an evidentiary bundle. So when the comes to review or the record's accurate and there can't be any deviation. And another facet of this is that to protect the narrative integrity, this protects vulnerable such as children or neurodiverse users who sometimes struggle to articulate further down the line really what happened for various reasons. So that's another sort of core objective of the infrastructure that we're building.
Mm-hmm. How can women, follow a similar career path? What advice would you offer?
I would say don't wait for permission. um, if you see a gap, then there must be a reason. They would build the bridge. Just go for it. Don't sort of be held back by the glass ceiling. And there's a lot of support and infrastructure, or a lot of support networks and communities out there for women to join. This being one of them, and speak to users. There's so many mediums to start collecting collecting data, collecting information from users on where the gaps are and what they can, how they can be solved.
Mm-hmm. How can people get in touch with you if they have any questions?
LinkedIn is
Mhm.
an easy one. We do have a website. It's www.diffuse.io. Thea has its own website, which is www.thealabs.io.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Is there anything else, Vanessa, you'd like to share with people listening or watching?
Um, One thing I do believe is that if we're going to put machines into human conflict, they need to be designed for care, accountability, and restraint. And this is the lens that the work we are we're built through. So we're all about human-centric design, and how can we help make society more peaceful and just lighten the load a little bit.
Thank you so much, Vanessa,
Thank
for
you.
joining us today.
Thank you.